Thomas's ABC book. A is for all aboard. All aboard, calls Thomas the tank engine. B is for Birdie the bus. Birdie is Thomas's friend. Beep, beep. C is for coaches. Annie and Clarabelle are Thomas's coaches. D is for Diesel. Doesn't Diesel look grumpy today? E is for Edward. Edward, a kind engine, helps everyone. F is for freight cars. Trick-trock, say the silly freight cars. G is for Gordon. Gordon is a big, strong engine. Boop, boop. H is for Henry. Here comes Henry under the bridge. I is for important. Trains do important work. J is for James. James is going on an exciting journey. K is for kind. L is for little. Kind little Edward is careful with freight cars. Whoosh! M is for men. The men who drive the engines stand inside the cab. N is for new. Here's Henry with a new coat of paint. O is for old-fashioned. Toby the tram engine is old-fashioned but very helpful. P is for Percy. Percy is the little green engine. Beep, beep. Q is for quick. James, the red engine, comes to a quick stop. R is for rest. Thomas and Percy rest in the railway station. S is for Sir Topham Hatt. Sir Topham Hatt runs the railroad. T is for tracks. Terence tells Thomas about his tracks. U is for up. Up on the bridge, Thomas chugs along happily. V is for valley. Thomas climbs out of the valley up the steep hill. W is for whoosh. X is for express. Whoosh! Gordon, the big engine, pulls the express. Y is for yard. Z is for zip. Zip, zip. Thomas is busy in the yard, pushing and pulling. Isn't he a really useful engine? Thomas's color book. The engines of Sodor love color, and the island of Sodor is a very colorful place. Lucky engines. James is hauling bushels of crisp red apples. Jack says hello to Flynn, the fire engine. Marion greets Bill and Ben. Bill is carrying orange pumpkins. Molly is pushing a load of bright yellow sunflowers. Kevin can lend a hand if she needs repairs. Cranky lifts loads of green trees onto the trucks. Percy, Henry, and Emily carry them away. "What is that on your truck, Edward?" asks Thomas. Edward is carrying a flock of beautiful blue peacocks. Look at those feathers. Charlie and Ryan are very busy. They are delivering big baskets of purple grapes. Toby gets to carry a big brown chocolate cake. It's the biggest cake ever baked on Sodor. It's for the Harwick Town Fair. It looks delicious. Hiro is pushing some beautiful black stallions to the horse show. Their coats are so shiny. Mavis is taking a load of big black boulders to the dinosaur park. They'll be part of an exhibit about volcanoes. Harold and Jeremy can zip around fluffy white clouds as they fly through the air. A flock of white seagulls follows their lead. Rosie is hauling sweet-smelling pink roses. Spencer has the biggest freight of all, a big gray elephant. Where do you think it's going? If you guessed the animal park, you're right. So many colors. Name them all. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, brown, black, pink, white, and gray. What a colorful day it has been on the island of Sodor. Now look around your neighborhood for colorful things. Dragons Love Tacos by Adam Rubin, illustrated by Daniel Salmieri. To my loving sister Bruce, smart, beautiful, and full of laughter, A.R. For Aaron, a wonderful friend, thank you for everything, D.S. Taco Cave. Hey kid, did you know that dragons love tacos? They love beef tacos and chicken tacos. They love really big, gigantic tacos and tiny little baby tacos as well. Why do dragons love tacos? Maybe it's the smell from the sizzling pan. Maybe it's the crunch of the crispy tortillas. Maybe it's a secret. Either way, if you want to make friends with dragons, tacos are key. Hey dragon, why do you guys love tacos so much? But wait! As much as dragons love tacos, they hate spicy salsa even more. They hate spicy green salsa and spicy red salsa. They hate spicy chunky salsa and spicy smooth salsa. If the salsa is spicy at all, dragons can't stand it. Why do dragons hate spicy salsa? Well, just one drop of hot sauce makes a dragon's ears smoke. Just one single speck of hot pepper makes a dragon snort sparks. Spicy salsa gives dragons the tummy troubles. And when dragons get the tummy troubles, oh boy, If you want to make tacos for dragons, keep the toppings mild. Tomatoes, check. Lettuce, check. Cheese, check. These are all good toppings for tacos for dragons. Hey dragon, how do you feel about spicy taco toppings? Dragons love parties. They like costume parties and pool parties. They like big, gigantic parties with accordions and tiny little parties with charades. Why do dragons love parties? Maybe it's the conversation. Maybe it's the dancing. Maybe it's the comforting sound of a good friend's laughter. The only thing dragons love more than parties or tacos is taco parties. Taco parties are parties with lots of tacos. If you want to have some dragons over for a taco party, you'll need buckets of tacos, pantloads of tacos. The best way to judge is to get a boat and fill the boat with tacos. That's about how many tacos dragons need for a taco party. After all, dragons love tacos. Hey dragon, are you excited for the big taco party? Just remember, dragons hate spicy salsa. Before you host your taco party with dragons, get rid of all the spicy salsa. In fact, bury the spicy salsa in the backyard so the dragons can't find it. These dragons love your taco party. They love the music, they love the decorations, they especially love the tacos. Congratulations! It's a good thing you got rid of all that spicy... Wait a second. What are those little green things in this salsa? You didn't read the fine print? Now with spicy jalapeno peppers. Dragons, listen to me. Do not eat those tacos. Those little green specks in the salsa, those are jalapeno peppers. They are super spicy. I know you love tacos, dragons, but you are not gonna love those tacos. Do not let those dragons eat those tacos. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Too late. Why would dragons help you rebuild your house? Maybe they're good Samaritans. Maybe they feel bad for wrecking it. Maybe they're just in it for the taco breaks. After all, dragons love tacos. Charlie and the New Baby by Reed Drummond, illustrated by Diane DeGroat. Well, howdy. Charlie the ranch dog here. You can just call me Charlie. Life sure is good out here on the old ranch. The sun is shining, the kids are playing, the birds are chirping, the cattle are happy. And Mama is rubbing my belly. I love it when Mama rubs my belly. Ah, life doesn't get any better than this. It's good to be the king of the ranch. Snort? Huh? What did I miss? Where are the kids? Where's Mama? Wait, what's that? They're carrying a calf. What's going on? What are they doing? Wait, they're taking the calf in the house? But everyone knows calves don't belong in the house. I'd better go investigate. I have now officially seen everything. Well, this calf does look brand new. She must be a brand new baby. Maybe she's lonely. Maybe she has lost her mama. Maybe she needs a little tender loving care. Mama said the kids are perfect for that job. They give me tender loving care all the time. They scratch my ears. They feed me lunch. Lunch is my life. They spend time with me, and they tuck me into bed at night. Yep, it's all TLC, all the time for me. Hey, that's my blanket. I've always loved that blanket. Now they're giving the calf a bath? It's been a while since I've had one of those. Wait, where's Mama going? Maybe she's making me dinner. Yum, dinner is my life. Wait, what? Huh? Hark! Do you hear that sound? That's the sound of my stomach growling. I haven't eaten in a long, long time, at least an hour. I'm so hungry I could faint. Hey, now they're tucking her in my bed? That's exactly how they tuck me in. Boy, that soft bed of mine sure does look comfy. Is it bedtime already? But what about my bed? What? I have to sleep on the floor? Oh no, say it ain't so. Oh well, nothing really left to do but get some shut-eye, I guess. Maybe I'll dream about a happier time long, long ago. A time when a dog could lie on his own bed. A time when a dog could get a bath and a belly rub from time to time. A time before this silly old calf ever showed up. A time when... Snort? Huh? Ah, now this is more like it. Don't worry, everyone. There's plenty of me to go around, and looks like there's enough tender, loving care around here for everyone, even Abigail. Lego Pirates, Brickbeard's Treasure by Hannah Dolan. Ahoy, me hearty! That means, hello, my friend, to a pirate. This fierce pirate is called Captain Brickbeard. He is the captain of this ship. It is called Brickbeard's Bounty. Captain Brickbeard and his crew sail the high seas in Brickbeard's Bounty. They are always looking for treasure and adventure. Let's go aboard the ship and have a look around. Look at the top of the ship, and you will see a black flag. The flag has a skull and some bones on it. It is called the Jolly Roger. It will scare the pirates' enemies away. Arrgh. Can you see the pretty mermaid on the ship? She is called a figurehead. The pirates hope that she will bring the ship good luck in stormy seas and shark-filled waters. The ship has powerful cannons. The pirates use them when they do battle with their enemies. The pirates' enemies are other treasure seekers on the high seas. The soldiers of the King's Navy protect the high seas from the pirates. They are always looking for pirates who are up to no good. The King's soldiers are the pirates' biggest enemies. Sometimes the King's soldiers take the pirates' treasure. Sometimes the pirates steal theirs. What's this? One of the pirates has found an old treasure map. The cross on it tells him where the treasure is buried. This soldier wants the map too. Look out! He is firing cannonballs with his big cannon. An old pirate is guarding treasure on this island. His pirate ship left him behind. The pirates and the King's soldiers have found the treasure. Who will reach it first? These pirates have some treasure. They are on a wooden raft. The raft floats along very slowly. The pirates are taking their treasure to Brickbeard's bounty. This sea monster is another enemy of the pirates. It loves shiny treasure too. It has 8 arms to help it steal the pirates' treasure. The pirates must keep their treasure safe. They hide it in their secret hideout. It has hidden traps to scare away enemies. Look out, pirates! These soldiers have found your hideout. This is the King's Navy fortress. It is where the King's soldiers keep their treasure safe. Look! Captain Brickbeard wants to steal the soldiers' treasure. The fortress has a prison cell. The soldiers have locked up a pirate in the prison cell. Look who is here to rescue him. Captain Brickbeard's clever pet monkey is trained to steal things. He steals the key to the prison cell and sets the pirate free. Now you know all about pirates. You could be one too. You can enjoy your own pirate adventures. Goodbye, me hearty, says Captain Brickbeard. Arrgh. Glossary. Page 6, treasure. Page 8, flag. Page 10, figurehead. Page 20, raft. Page 26, fortress. And page 28, prison cell. The Goose Egg by Liz Wong. Henrietta loved quiet. She savored the stillness of the morning as she sipped her Darjeeling. She loved the soft rustle of the newspaper as she turned its pages. And more than anything, she loved the lake. The lake could be noisy on the surface. But once Henrietta slipped below the surface, There was only the faint murmur of the water. She lost herself in her thoughts. Sometimes she got a little too lost. Bonk! Henrietta's thoughts scattered. She went home to collect herself. She gently felt her sore head. What a lump! A real goose egg! So she bandaged her head and kept quiet, waiting for the bump to heal. Until... crack! She felt the top of her head. She felt something soft, something fuzzy, something like a baby goose. Mama! Oh my, that was a real goose egg! Henrietta ran back to the lake, found a nest, and carefully placed the baby goose inside. Henrietta waited and waited. Mama, I'm sure your mother will be back soon. But no mother bird appeared. Henrietta couldn't just leave poor Goose alone. She scooped her up and took her home. From then on, Henrietta's quiet was shattered. Mornings were splashy instead of still. The newspaper didn't rustle, it ripped. Something needed to change. And as Goose got bigger, she only got noisier. Honk, 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 honk. Henrietta realized she had to teach Goose to behave like a proper goose. So Henrietta hatched a plan. She showed Goose how to look for food, how to follow along, and how to flap her wings. How to hang on, hold on tight, here we go, and how to let go. You're flying! When Goose was grown, it really was time for her to go. Bye, Goose. You'll do great out there. Henrietta's house was quiet again, but she found that she didn't love the quiet quite so much anymore. When she dove into the dark and lost herself in her thoughts, she just felt lost. And at night, she dreamed she heard Goose honking. Then one day, the honking was real. Baby Goose, you're a mama goose now. Honk, 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 honk. Henrietta loved those noisy goslings, and the quiet was even better than before. Those Shoes by Mary Beth Boltz, illustrated by Noah Z. Jones. Those shoes. I have dreams about those shoes. Black high tops, 2 white stripes. Grandma, I want them. There's no room for want around here, just need, Grandma says. And what you need are new boots for winter. Brandon T. comes to school in those shoes. He says He's the fastest runner now, not me. I was always the fastest before those shoes came along. Nate comes to school in those shoes. Antonio and I count how many times Nate goes to the bathroom. 7 times in one day, just so he can walk up and down the hall real slow. Next, Alan, Jacoby, and Terrence each get a pair. Then one day, in the middle of kickball, one of my shoes comes apart. Looks like you could use a new pair, Jeremy, Mr. Alfrey, the guidance counselor says. He brings out a box of shoes and other stuff he has for kids who need things. He helps me find the only shoes that are my size, Velcro. Like the ones my little cousin Marshall wears. They have an animal on them from a cartoon I don't think any kid ever watched. When I came back to the classroom, Alan Jacoby takes one look at my Mr. Alfrey shoes and laughs. And so do Terrence, Brandon T, and everyone else. The only kid not laughing is Antonio Parker. At home, Grandma says, "How kind of Mr. Alfrey." I nod and turn my back. I'm not going to cry about any dumb shoes. But when I'm writing my spelling words later, every word looks like the word shoes, and my grip is so tight on my pencil, I think it might bust. On Saturday, Grandma says, "Let's check out those shoes you're wanting so much. I got a little bit of money set aside. Might be enough, you never know." At the shoe store, Grandma turns those shoes over so she can check the price. When she sees it, she sits down heavy. "Maybe they wrote it down wrong," I say. Grandma shakes her head. Then I remember the thrift shops. What if there's a rich kid who outgrew his or got 2 pairs for Christmas and had to give one of them away? We ride the bus to the first thrift shop. Black cowboy boots, pink slippers, sandals, high heels, every kind of shoes except the ones I want. We ride the bus to the second thrift shop. Not a pair of those shoes in sight. Around the corner, in the third thrift shop, I see something in the window. Black shoes with 2 white stripes, high tops, perfect shape. $2.50. Those shoes! My heart is pounding hard as I take off my shoes and hitch up my baggy socks. "How exciting!" Grandma says. "What size are they?" I shove my foot into the first shoe, curling my toes to get my heel in. I don't know, but I think they fit. Grandma kneels on the floor and feels for my toes at the end of the shoe. "Oh, Jeremy," she says, "I can't spend good money on shoes that don't fit." I pull the other shoe on and try to walk around. "They're okay," I say, holding my breath and praying that my toes will fall off right then and there. But my toes don't fall off. I buy them anyway with my own money, and I squeeze them on and limp to the bus stop. At home, a few days later, Grandma puts a new pair of snow boots in my closet and doesn't say a word about my 2 big feet shuffling around in my 2 small shoes. Sometimes shoes stretch, I say. Grandma gives me a hug. I check every day, but those shoes don't stretch. I have to wear my Mr. Alfrey's to school instead. One day during math, I glance at Antonio's shoes. One of them is taped up, and his feet look smaller than mine. After school, I head to the park to think. Antonio is there, the only kid who didn't laugh at my Mr. Alfrey shoes. We shoot baskets. A loose piece of tape on Antonio's shoe smacks the concrete every time he jumps. I think, I'm not going to do it. We leap off the swings. I'm not going to do it. We race from one end of the playground to the other. I'm not going to do it, I say. Do what? Antonio says, breathing hard. Grandma calls me for supper and invites Antonio over too. After supper, he spies my shoes. How come you don't wear them? Antonio asks. I shrug. My hands are sweaty. I can feel him wishing those shoes were his. That night, I am awake for a long time thinking about Antonio. When morning comes, I try on my shoes one last time. Before I can change my mind, the shoes are in my coat. Snow is beginning to fall as I run across the street to Antonio's apartment. I put the shoes in front of his door, push the doorbell, and run. At school, Antonio is smiling big in his brand new shoes. I feel happy when I look at his face and mad when I look at my Mr. Alfrey shoes. But later, when it's time for recess, something happens. Everywhere there is snow. Leave your shoes in the hall and change into your boots, the teacher announces. Leave your shoes in the hall. It's then I remember what I have in my backpack. New boots. New black boots that no kid has ever worn before. Standing in line to go to recess, Antonio leans forward and says, "Thanks." I smile and give him a nudge. Let's race. Strictly No Elephants, written by Lisa Manchev, illustrated by Taeyeon Yu. For my grandmother, Harriet, the first artist I knew, L.M. To Boreum with Love, T.Y. The trouble with having a tiny elephant for a pet is that you never quite fit in. Every day I take my elephant for a walk. His is a very thoughtful sort of walk. He doesn't like the cracks in the sidewalk much. I always go back and help him over. That's what friends do. Lift each other over the cracks. Today I'm walking my tiny elephant to number 17. It's Pet Club Day and everyone will be there. Come along, there's a good boy. I coax him the last few feet. It'll be fine. When I look up, there's a sign on the door. Strictly no elephants. My tiny elephant leads me back to the sidewalk, never minding the cracks. That's what friends do. Brave the scary things for you. Did you try to go to the pet club meeting too? The girl asks. Yes, I say, but they don't allow elephants. The sign didn't mention skunks, the girl says, but they don't want us to play with them either. They don't know any better, I tell her. He doesn't stink, the girl adds. No, he doesn't, I agree. What if we start our own club? Come along, I say, making certain that my tiny elephant follows me, because that's what friends do. Never leave anyone behind. We can play here, one of our new friends says. All of us. So we paint our own sign. Strictly no strangers, no spoil sports. Crossed that out. All are welcome. My tiny elephant will give you directions if you need them. Because that's what friends do. The Close Shave. The Close Shave, based on Railway Series by the Reverend W. Awdry, illustrated by Richard Courtney. Thomas and Duck are friends. They are not friends with the troublesome trucks. They like to chug up hills. They like to zip down hills. One day, Duck was zipping down a hill. Hello, Thomas. Duck heard a warning whistle. Peep, peep. Trucks had run away from Thomas. Go, Duck, no trucks. The trucks bumped Duck. Mad Duck, glad trucks. Duck and the trucks rushed down the hill. Duck saw the end of the line. Duck had to stop. Duck crashed into the barber shop. Sad Duck, bad trucks. The barber was cross. Soapy Duck, dopey trucks. I am sorry, said Duck. I had to stop the runaway trucks. No one was hurt. The shop could be fixed. Duck was a hero. Duck got cleaned up. The trucks got picked up. Duck had a close shave. Nothing Fits a Dinosaur by Jonathan Fenske. No more playtime, says my mama. Take a bath, put on pajamas, and please, tonight, no dino drama. The bath is fun. I romp and stomp inside my tiny bathroom swamp. But finding jammies is a chore when nothing fits a dinosaur. These claws would tear a shirt in two. This cozy quilt will have to do. And pants cannot contain these thighs. 2 sleeping bags are more my size. What kind of socks will warm these toes? Some pillowcases, I suppose. Why stop there? My feet could use a decent pair of stomping shoes, but these will barely fit a mouse. So let these buckets shake the house. And now my noggin needs a hat. A lampshade will take care of that. Did I forget my underwear? I have a tail, I hang it there. Now I am such a silly sight. A dressed up dino is not right. These clothes shall feel my dino might. Roar! I shed them with a mega roar. I kick them all across the floor. No shirt, no pants, no socks, no shoes. No hat, no underwear. I choose to dress in nothing. Look at me. Nothing fits me perfectly. Watch me romp and stomp and roar, a naked, happy dinosaur. I run wild and I run free, as bare as dinosaurs should be. Till Mamasaurus roars at me, no more playtime, that is it. I better find some clothes that fit. I Can Swim by Karen Wallace. George's friends laughed and splashed around. Swimming looked like fun. George stood by the pool. His dad was going to teach him how to swim. Dad helped George to put on his water wings. Let's get in, said Dad. George held onto the ladder and stepped into the pool. He splashed his face and put it into the water. Good job, cried Dad. You'll be a great swimmer one day. George stood in the shallow water and jumped up and down. He walked back and forth. Then Dad held him while he floated on his back. That was fun, cried George as he climbed out of the pool. At their next lesson, Dad helped George move through the water on his front. Kick, Dad said. George kicked with long, straight legs as hard as he could. Dad showed George how to put his face under water. He held on to the side of the pool, then took a deep breath and ducked. George watched him blow bubbles like a fish. "Now you try," said Dad. Next, George took lots of deep breaths and blew a ball across the water. "Good breathing," cried Dad. "Next time you can try to paddle." "Can you remember what you've learned?" Dad asked at the next lesson. George thought about how to kick and to breathe. Dad showed him how to paddle and pulled back with his arms through the water. Then George tried paddling. George learned to push and glide on his front. He held on to a kickboard and stood by the side of the pool. Then he pushed off with his feet and glided through the water. "Let's take some air out of your water wings," said Dad. George tried floating like a starfish. First, he took a deep breath. Then he lay on his back. He spread his arms and his legs out wide. Then George pushed off from the side on his back. He glided across the water. "Push harder this time," said Dad. "You'll glide even farther." George pushed off as hard as he could. Each time George went to the pool, he practiced his new skills. One day, Dad said, "It's time to take off your water wings." George tried to paddle without any water wings. Soon, he could use his arms to pull through the water. "Now, hold out your kickboard," said Dad, "and kick your legs." George tried. "Try not to splash," said Dad. "You'll go even faster." George tried hard. Soon he could swim across the pool without using the kickboard. Mom came to the pool to watch George. "I've got a surprise for you," said George. He swam across the pool to her. "I can swim!" shouted George. Mom cheered and clapped. Some of George's friends were swimming in the pool. George swam over to play with them. Now he could swim too. Picture word list: water wings, ball, ladder, paddle, kick, kickboard, fish, starfish. Buzzboy and Fly Guy by Ted Arnold. A boy had a pet fly named Fly Guy. Fly Guy could say the boy's name, Buzz. One night, Buzz said, "I made a book. We are the superheroes. Heroes?" "Yes," said Buzz. "I'll read it to you. The Amazing Adventures of Buzzboy and Fly Guy by me, Buzz." Chapter 1. One day, Buzzboy woke up. He was the same size as Fly Guy. Slap. "I have bad news," Fly Guy can talk. What? Pirates came last night. Arg! They took our house to a dragon cave. Arg! Pirate guards, more pirates. On an island far away. Buzzboy looked out the window. He saw a sleeping dragon. You're right, Fly Guy. Good thing we are superheroes. Time to take care of business. Chapter 2. The dragon was still asleep. With his super strength, Buzzboy turned the dragon around. Fly Guy used his super loudness. Buzz! The dragon woke up and shot fire outside. The pirate guards ran away. Buzzboy and Fly Guy ran to the beach. Oops! More pirates. Arg! Chapter 3. Arg! Buzzboy and Fly Guy were put in jail on the pirate ship. Now what? I always carry my super skeleton key. Buzz! Fly Guy unlocked the door. Yikes! We are at the top of the pirate ship. Good thing we can both fly. Buzzboy and Fly Guy flew back to the island. They made friends with the dragon. The dragon took their house back home. Buzzboy and Fly Guy let the dragon join their team. Dragon Dude. The end, said Buzz. Fly Guy said, Heroes! Superheroes, said Buzz. Want to read it again? Yes! Busy Train Book with pullback train and 4 tracks. It's a busy morning at the station. A train guard blows his whistle. Peep! Follow the red train as it travels along the tracks until it arrives at the zoo. The busy train zooms out from the dark tunnel. Past some cows, beside a forest, over a bridge. The busy train went past some goats. Can you spot them? And around some people having a picnic. The busy train travels across a viaduct, between some buildings, and beside someone fishing, around a hut, over the sand. The busy train went past some baby ducks. Can you spot them? The busy train goes along the track, past a field of sunflowers, near a farmer on his tractor, around some people picking fruit, and beside some old houses. The busy train went past a scarecrow. Can you spot it? The busy train arrives at the zoo. It goes behind the gorillas, past 2 giraffes, around the penguin pool, and reaches the station. The busy train went past some monkeys. Can you spot them?
Okay, what is this, William?
Train.
Okay, come over and...
I need to get the train now. Roll down the track. And let's see. Oh God, where's the battery? The battery.
Hey, this one doesn't need battery. Okay, Daddy will show you.
Okay.
Okay, here's the start. You have to start from here. Over here.
How?
Ready, go. Okay, let's try the next one.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's try the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Where's the
perfect.
start? Oh look, Daddy will show you where's the start is. You have to start from here. It's the start here. Okay.
Ready, set, go.
Okay, we gotta do the next one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the next one.
Okay, let's flip the page. Okay, we gotta do this now. Where's the start?
I need to.
Over here. Okay, Daddy will show you.
What?
Yeah.
Choo-choo. It's going.
Okay, let's try the next one.
Go. Good.
Okay. Let's do one. I think we've already done this. Let's do it again. I think we're all done.
But,
Yeah, look, it's all done.
oh,
Yeah. There's no more. Yeah. Okay, let's do one more time and then. Okay, let's do this one more time and then we're done, okay?
Oh, sure, of course. 1, 2.
Okay, all done. Say bye-bye, train.
Bye-bye, train.
Yeah, close the book.
And put this back away.
Yeah, put it back.
And
Okay, say bye-bye, train.
bye-bye.
Thomas and Toby. Illustrated by Tommy Stubbs. One sunny morning, Thomas the Tank Engine was happily chugging along his branch line. Being a really useful engine, Thomas had many responsibilities, and it was important that he stayed right on time. Pulling Annie and Clarabelle, Thomas started toward the quarry for his first delivery of the day. Thomas was especially careful on one part of his branch line because it ran beside a long stretch of road. Peep, peep! He'd whistle hello to anyone who might be near so they'd have plenty of time to get out of the way. This late summer morning, as Thomas chugged around a bend, he noticed a policeman standing by the next crossing. Thomas had been close friends with the old constable, who'd recently retired. This must be the new constable, thought Thomas, and he greeted the policeman with a friendly peep peep. But the new constable's reply was far from friendly. Thomas had startled him, and he stopped Thomas in his tracks. My very first day, and already there's trouble? Just who are you, and where do you think you are going? Asked the red-faced policeman. Thomas did his best to explain, but the policeman was not in a mood to listen to an engine. No cow catcher? Not a single side plate in sight? You shouldn't travel near these public roads. It's too dangerous, he exclaimed as he inspected Thomas. This cannot continue. I must speak with the person in charge. Thomas told him that Sir Topham Hatt, the head of the railway, was on vacation. There was nothing Thomas could say to calm the policeman, and nothing to do until Sir Topham Hatt returned. Troublemaker, muttered the policeman as Thomas chugged sadly away. Sir Topham Hatt was having a much better time than Thomas. He was vacationing with his family on the other side of Sodor. His grandchildren had discovered an old-fashioned steam tram that still gave rides to passengers. The short, sturdy tram's name was Toby. He had cow catchers, side plates, and a cheery bell that he rang to greet all he met. He traveled with Henrietta, a tram coach whom he considered a good friend, if sometimes fussy friend. Long ago, they were very busy transporting goods and people to the main line. But now almost everyone traveled by cars and buses. Toby and Henrietta spent their days giving tram rides to people on vacation. Being the kind of family who enjoyed railways, the Hatts returned to Toby every day of their vacation for a ride. It didn't take long for Toby to recognize that Sir Topham Hatt was a special passenger. He asked all the right questions and knew just about everything there was to know about trains and trams. "What is your name?" asked Sir Topham Hatt as the Hats took the last tram ride of their vacation. "Toby, sir!" "Thank you, Toby, for a very memorable vacation." "Thank you, sir," said Toby politely. Toby thought to himself, "This gentleman is a gentleman who knows how to speak to engines." Sadly, a few days later, Toby and Henrietta's line was shut down and they were sent to their sheds. When Sir Topham Hatt returned from vacation, he was informed immediately about Thomas's trouble with the new constable. He remembered Toby. He knew that underneath the chipped paint and rusty spots was a very useful tram engine who could handle the quarry line and the prickly policeman. And there were plenty of other things to keep Thomas occupied as well. Soon, Toby and Henrietta arrived, and they took to their new jobs very quickly. Toby was especially good at making the trucks behave. Thomas noticed this right away, and he was very impressed. He knew firsthand how troublesome those trucks could be. In no time, Thomas and Toby became good friends. James, however, was not at all impressed with Toby. He often met Toby and Henrietta at the junction. Every time he saw them, he made a crack about how dirty they were or how slow they moved. One day, Toby had had enough. "Whoosh!" Toby cried, blowing out a great burst of steam. "Why must you always be so mean?" "Oh, bother," replied James. "I don't have time right now for dirty, slow engines like you. Really splendid, fast engines like myself have lots to do." Off he sped to his next stop, leaving Toby in a cloud of steam. James continued on his route, picking up more and more trucks. He was still a bit cranky and very distracted. As he was traveling down Gordon's Hill, James was so busy thinking of things to say to Toby that he forgot to pin down his brakes. Faster, faster, he flew as the trucks bumped and pushed him down the steep hill, for they loved to go fast and make trouble. "I've got to stop!" screeched James as he pulled on the brakes. But it was no use. James could not slow down. "Hooray!" cheered the trucks. And then, crash! James had finally stopped at the bottom of the hill. He'd run straight into 2 tar wagons. What a sticky, dirty mess! A short time later, the breakdown train and all available engines arrived to help with the cleanup. Toby immediately started getting the trucks under control. When he saw James, Toby couldn't resist having a little fun. "Is that James?" Toby asked innocently. "It can't be. James is such a splendid, fast engine." James pretended he didn't hear Toby, and from that day on, James was a lot nicer. Toby knew just about everything when it came to moving trucks. He had many years of experience and a very patient nature. So Sir Topham Hatt asked Toby to coach Mavis, a new diesel engine at the Farquhar quarry. Like most new engines, especially diesels, Mavis thought she knew it all, or at least more than that old-fashioned tram did. She quickly grew bored with moving the trucks at the quarry. More than anything, she wanted to be on the line. One wet but very busy day, Toby asked Mavis to bring the trucks to the line. Mavis was thrilled. "Take it slow," he warned. "Watch the wet rails," he suggested. "Keep an eye on the trucks," he reminded. But Mavis was too excited to pay attention to Toby. As soon as she started on her way, though, she wished she'd listened more closely. The trucks realized she was new at this. The cold autumn rain made the rails extra slick, so they bumped and pushed, and before she knew it, Mavis was stalled right in the middle of a busy crossing. Soon there were many angry people who needed to get by. Mavis didn't know what to do, and the trucks just laughed at her. She knew that Toby would be angry, and he was. But Toby also remembered that it was Mavis's first time on the line and how tricky those trucks could be. He helped Mavis out of the crossing and promised to spend more time teaching her at the quarry. Toby had been there only a short while, but already his hard work was recognized. Sir Topham Hatt gave both him and Henrietta a long overdue fresh coat of paint and some shiny new parts. And best of all, Toby got a new number of his own. Now he, too, truly was a really useful engine. Toby and Thomas's friendship grew and grew. Thomas especially liked it when he found out that Toby always startled the not-so-cheery policeman with a cheery ring of his bell. Star Wars. This is Luke. Written by Nate Malici, art by Tomato Farm. This is Luke. Luke lives on a sandy planet. But Luke is bored. Luke wants to leave the sandy planet. Luke meets two droids. The tall one is C-3PO. The short one is R2-D2. They have a secret message. R2-D2 shows Luke the secret message. It is from Princess Leia. She needs help. Luke wants to help the princess. He meets Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan is a Jedi Knight. He will train Luke. Jedi Knights use the Force. The Force is a magic energy field. Jedi Knights use a special sword. It is called a lightsaber. Luke leaves the sandy planet. He finds Princess Leia. She is trapped on the Death Star. Luke and Leia escape. The Death Star is a space station. It can destroy planets. Luke and R2-D2 must stop the Death Star. Luke flies his X-Wing fighter. Luke uses the Force. He destroys the Death Star. Luke travels to a snowy planet. A snow monster traps Luke. Luke uses the Force to reach his lightsaber. Luke uses his lightsaber. He stops the snow monster. Giant at walkers stomp across the snowy planet. Luke uses his lightsaber to stop them too. Luke goes to a swamp planet to find Yoda. Yoda is a Jedi Master. Yoda is strong in the Force. Yoda is a good teacher, and Luke is a good student. Yoda teaches Luke how to be a Jedi Knight. Princess Leia, C-3PO, and Chewie are in trouble. Luke leaves the swamp planet. He must help his friends. Luke fights Darth Vader. Darth Vader was a great Jedi Knight, but he turned to the dark side. Now Darth Vader is evil. He wants Luke to join the dark side. Luke does not want to join the dark side. Luke faces more villains. He escapes from Jabba the Hutt. He fights Boba Fett. Luke also makes new friends. He travels to a forest moon. He meets the Ewoks. Ewoks are small and furry. They help Luke and his friends. Luke meets Darth Vader again. Luke is trapped. Darth Vader takes Luke to the evil Emperor. He wants Luke to join the dark side too. Luke fights Darth Vader for the last time. Luke does not give in to fear or anger. He will never join the dark side. Luke is not bored anymore. He is a brave hero. Luke is a great Jedi Knight. Stick and Stone by Beth Ferry and Tom Lichtenheld. Stick, stone, lonely, alone. A 0, a 1. Alone is no fun. Stick, stone. Along comes pine cone. Makes fun of stone. Won't leave him alone. Vanish, says Stick. His word does the trick. Stone whispers, "Gee, you stuck up for me." That's just what sticks do. Friends do it too. Stick, stone, no longer alone. Stick, stone, a friendship has grown. They wander, explore, lays by the shore. Then thunder and rain, boom, a loud hurricane. Stick is windblown, there goes pine cone. Hold on, calls out stone. Again, he's alone. Search day. Stick, stick, stick. And search night. No stick in sight. What's this? A huge puddle? Stick stuck in the muddle. Help! Stone rescues him quick. Cowabunga! Kersploosh! You rock, Stone, says Stick. That's just what stones do. Best friendship rocks too. Stick, stone, together again. Stick, stone, a perfect 10. To the end. Sorry I needled you so much. Stick and Stone, Best Friends Forever by Beth Ferry and Tom Lichtenheld. Stick, stone, I'll catch you. A friendship full grown. Together they'll venture into the unknown. Stick's on a search for maple or birch. He can't wait to see his family tree. Mom? Am I a spruce, a willow, an oak? Where did I live before my branch broke? Stick is excited. Stone, quite delighted. I see a tree. I love a good quest. Quests are the best. They wander, explore through forests galore, through valleys and creeks, and high mountain peaks. But Stick doesn't see his family tree. I think it was big. I think it was tall. Stone giggles. Stick? That sounds like them all. The forest is vast. The forest is deep. Soon they are lost in shadows that creep. They hear something scurry. Come on, Stick, let's hurry. Was that a bear? Was it a snake? It might be a monster. This was a mistake. We'll never be found. Stick? What's that sound? Who? Stone looks at Stick. Stick looks at Stone. They both slowly turn, then scream, "It's Pinecone!" Are you guys okay? Come on, home's this way. Stick, Stone, no longer alone. Stick, Stone, saved by Pinecone. Now homeward bound. Now safe and sound. I guess I won't find my family tree. Stick, replies Stone. Your family's me. You're right, whispers Stick. You're right next to me. You always have been. And I always will be. And I truly don't care if you're oak or you're pine. I'm your best friend, and you'll always be mine. The end. Pete the Cat, Rocking in My School's Shoes. Art by James Dean, creator of Pete the Cat. Story by Eric Litwin. Here comes Pete, strolling down the street, rocking red shoes on his 4 furry feet. Pete is going to school, and he sings this song. I'm rocking in my school shoes. I'm rocking in my school shoes. I'm rocking in my school shoes. Pete is sitting at his desk when his teacher says, Come on, Pete, down that hall to a room with books on every wall. Where is Pete going? The library. Pete has never been to the library before. Does Pete worry? Goodness, no! He finds his favorite book and sings his song. I'm reading in my school shoes. I'm reading in my school shoes. I'm reading in my school shoes. Check out Pete. He's ready to eat in a big noisy room with tables and seats. Where is Pete? The lunchroom. It can be loud and busy in the lunchroom. Does Pete worry? Goodness, no. He sits down with his friends and sings his song. I'm eating in my school shoes. I'm eating in my school shoes. I'm eating in my school shoes. Pete and his friends are playing outside on a green, grassy field with swings and tall slides. Where is Pete? The playground. Kids are running in every direction. Does Pete worry? Goodness, no. He slides and he swings and he sings his song. I'm playing in my school shoes. I'm playing in my school shoes. I'm playing in my school shoes. All day long, Pete sings his song. I'm singing in my school shoes. I'm painting in my school shoes. I'm adding in my school shoes. I'm writing in my school shoes. When school is done, Pete rides the bus home. Pete's mom asks him, "What did you do at school today?" And Pete says, I was rocking in my school shoes. I was rocking in my school shoes. I was rocking in my school shoes. And I will do it again tomorrow. Because it's all good. Pete the Cat, I love my white shoes. Art by James Dean, creator of Pete the Cat. Story by Eric Litwin. Pete the Cat was walking down the street in his brand new white shoes. Pete loved his white shoes so much, he sang this song. I love my white shoes. I love my white shoes. I love my white shoes. Oh no! Pete stepped in a large pile of strawberries. What color did it turn his shoes? Red. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no! He kept walking along and singing his song. Everything is cool. I love my red shoes. I love my red shoes. I love my red shoes. Oh no, Pete stepped in a large pile of blueberries. What color did it turn his shoes? Blue. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. He kept walking along and singing his song. Awesome. I love my blue shoes. I love my blue shoes. I love my blue shoes. Oh no! Pete stepped in a large puddle of mud. What color did it turn his shoes? Brown. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. He kept walking along and singing his song. Groovy. I love my brown shoes. I love my brown shoes. I love my brown shoes. Oh no! Pete stepped in a bucket of water, and all the brown and all the blue and all the red were washed away. What color were his shoes again? White! But now they were wet. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no! He kept walking along and singing his song. Rock and roll. I love my wet shoes. I love my wet shoes. I love my wet shoes. Squeak, squeak, squeak. The moral of Pete's story is, no matter what you step in, keep walking along and singing your song. Because it's all good. Pete the Cat and His Magic Sunglasses by Kimberly and James Dean. Pete the Cat did not feel happy. Pete had never, ever, ever, ever been grumpy before. Pete had the blue cat blues. Then, as if things were not bad enough, along came Grumpy Toad. Grumpy Toad was never happy. He always wore a frown. But Grumpy Toad was not grumpy today. He said, "These cool blue magic sunglasses make the blues go away. They help you see things in a whole new way." Pete put on the cool blue magic sunglasses. He looked all around. Right on. The birds are singing, the sky is bright, the sun is shining. I'm feeling all right. Pete thanked Grumpy Toad for the cool blue magic sunglasses. He went on his way, and soon he saw Squirrel. Squirrel did not look happy. Pete said, "What's wrong, Squirrel?" "I'm so mad. Nothing is going my way. I only found one acorn today." Pete said, "Try these cool blue magic sunglasses. They help you see things in a whole new way." Squirrel put on the cool blue magic sunglasses and looked all around. Awesome! The birds are singing, the sky is bright, the sun is shining. I'm feeling all right. Pete said goodbye to Squirrel and continued on his way. Soon he saw his friend Turtle. Turtle did not look happy. "What's wrong, Turtle?" Pete asked. "I'm so frustrated. Nothing is going my way. I am all upside down today." Pete said, "Try these cool blue magic sunglasses. They help you see things in a whole new way. Turtle put on the cool blue magic sunglasses and looked all around. Far out, the birds are singing, the sky is bright, the sun is shining, I'm feeling all right. Pete kept rolling along until he saw Alligator. Alligator did not look happy. "What's wrong, Alligator?" Pete asked. "I'm so sad. Nothing is going my way. No one wants to play with me today." Pete said, "Try these cool blue magic sunglasses. They help you see things in a whole new way." Alligator put on the cool blue magic sunglasses and looked all around. "Rockin'! The birds are singing, the sky is bright, the sun is shining, I'm feeling all right." Pete was rolling along and feeling all right when suddenly he fell back. The cool blue magic sunglasses went crack. Uh-oh, Pete didn't know what to do without those sunglasses. Just then, Pete looked up at the tree. Wise old owl said, "Pete, you don't need magic sunglasses to see things in a new way. Just remember to look for the good in every day." Hoo, hoo. Pete looked around without his sunglasses. Too cool. The birds are singing, the sky is bright, the sun is shining. We're feeling all right. Pete the Cat and the Bedtime Blues by Kimberly and James Dean. Pete and the gang had a great day. They'd been at the beach, surf and sun and tons of fun. But when the sun went down, they didn't want the fun to end. Pete had an idea. "Hey, how about a sleepover? More time for tons of fun. Groovy. Pete's place. Let's go." The party was far out, but they knew they couldn't stay up all night. The gang decided it was time to say goodnight. On went the pajamas and out went the light. Good night, Gus. Good night, Alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Pete was just about to catch some Z's when, clap, clap, clap. "Who did that?" Pete asked. "It was me," said Grumpy Toad. "I don't want to go to bed. I want to clap instead." Pete covered his head. "This cool cat needs to go to bed. Good night, Gus. Good night, Alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Time to sleep." Pete tried again to catch some Z's when rat-a-tat-tat. "Who did that?" Pete asked. "It was me," said Gus the platypus. "I don't want to go to bed. I want to jam instead." Pete covered his head. "This cool cat needs to go to bed. Time to sleep." Good night, Gus. Good night, alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Pete closed his eyes to catch some Z's when he heard munch, munch, munch. Pete had a hunch it was alligator. He was always up for eating. What could Pete do? All the clapping, rat-a-tat-tatting, and munching was giving him the bedtime blues. Pete had a groovy idea. He got out his favorite bedtime story and started to read, first to himself and then to the gang. Pete the Cat and 10 Little Monsters. Pete noticed it was finally quiet. No more clapping, no more rat-a-tat-tatting, and no more munching. They all settled down. No one made a sound. Pete yawned and turned off the light. Good night, sleep tight. Time to catch some Z's. Tomorrow was another day for surfing, sun, and tons of fun. Pete the Cat and the Itsy Bitsy Spider by James Dean. One day, while playing outside with his friends, Pete the Cat spotted something cool. "Look!" shouted Pete. "Wow, it's so small," said Gus. "It's an itsy bitsy spider," said Callie. The itsy bitsy spider climbed up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. Pete and his friends knew just what to do. Everyone cheered on the tiny spider. Pete the Cat said, "Try again, itsy bitsy spider." So the itsy bitsy spider climbed up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. Pete said, "Don't give up yet." They all cheered louder this time. Again, the itsy bitsy spider climbed up the water spout. Down came the rain, and Pete and his friends shouted, "Go, itsy bitsy spider! Go, itsy bitsy spider! Don't give up! Believe you can!" And the itsy bitsy spider kept climbing up the water spout. Everyone celebrated, and the spider took a bow. With the help of some friends, The itsy bitsy spider never gave up, even when the odds were against her. Pete the Cat, Scuba Cat by James Dean. Pete the Cat is excited. He is going scuba diving. Pete puts on a mask and fins. He has a tank full of air. He hopes to see lots of fish. If you are lucky, you might see a seahorse, says Captain Joe. A seahorse? Says Pete. I can't wait. I never saw one before. Their ridges look like a horse's mane, says Captain Joe. Groovy, says Pete. Pete jumps into the water. Splash. Down, down, down he goes. Up, up, up go the bubbles. Pete looks for a seahorse. He sees a swordfish. Pete swims out of its way. Pete waves to a stingray. It has a long, skinny tail. That's not a seahorse, thinks Pete. Pete looks high and low for the seahorse. Then he feels a tickle. Pete sees a school of fish. They all look alike, except for one. It puffs up. It is a blowfish. It is not a seahorse. Where could one be? Pete looks in the rocks. What is that? It is an octopus. It has 8 legs. It is not a seahorse. Pete feels a tickle. What could it be? Pete turns. He sees a cave. Is there a seahorse inside? Pete sees a crab with claws. A seahorse does not have claws, Pete thinks. The cave is getting darker. Pete feels a tickle. Then he sees an eel. Pete swims past it. It is too long to be a seahorse. Oh no, it is too dark to see. How will Pete get out? Pete sees a jellyfish. It glows in the dark. Pete is almost out of the cave. He sees an angelfish. It is very colorful. Pete is out of the cave. So why is it so dark? Pete is in a shadow. He is in the shadow of a whale. Yikes! Pete wishes he could jump on a seahorse and ride away. Pete hops on a sea turtle instead. It takes him to the boat. I did not see a seahorse, thinks Pete. He feels a little tickle on his tail. A seahorse! Cries Pete. What a surprise! You were with me all along, says Pete. What a cool adventure. Pete the Cat and the New Guy, written by Kimberly and James Dean. It was Sunday, and Pete's friends had come to play. They were rocking to a new song when Beep, beep, beep. There was a noise coming from across the street. Wise Old Owl had a view from his tree. Pete said, "Hey, Owl, what do you see?" Owl said, "All I see are green shoes and a red hat." Pete answered, "Sounds like my kind of cat." Pete could not imagine who this new guy could be. "I really hope it's a new friend for me." On Monday, Pete wanted to say hi, but he was feeling kind of shy. So he just rode by and by and by and by until finally Pete got to meet the new guy. Pete said, "I've never met anyone quite like you. You seem like a duck and like a beaver too." The new guy said to Pete, "Hi, my name is Gus. Glad to meet you. I'm a platypus." Pete said, "You're not like me, and I am not like you, but I think being different is really very cool." On Tuesday, Pete and Gus took a walk down the street. They came to Squirrel, who was playing in a tree. "Hi, Gus," said Squirrel. "Climbing is easy. Try and see." Gus gave the tree a try, but the branch was way too high. "I wish I could climb like you, but climbing is something I just can't do." Pete said, "Don't be sad, don't be blue. There is something everyone can do." On Wednesday, Pete and Gus took a walk down the street. They came to Pete's friend, Grumpy Toad, who said, "Come play leapfrog with me. Jumping is easy. Try and see." Gus jumped and leaped, but he couldn't get over Toad or Pete. "I wish I could jump like you, but jumping is something I just can't do." Pete said, "Don't be sad, don't be blue. There is something everyone can do." On Thursday, Pete and Gus took a walk down the street. Soon they saw Octopus, who said, "Come juggle with me. Juggling is easy. Try and see." "I wish I could juggle like you, but juggling is something I just can't do." Pete said, "Don't be sad, don't be blue. There is something everyone can do." On Friday, Pete and Gus took a walk down the street. Gus said, "I can't juggle or jump or climb a tree. It's no fun around here for me." On Saturday, Pete hoped Gus would come out to play. "I wish Gus wasn't sad. I wish Gus wasn't blue. I wish there was something we could do." Just then, Pete heard a groovy sound. It was coming from across the street. Gus was rocking to his own beat. Sweet! Pete said, "Check out Gus the platypus. He found something cool he can do with us." Tap, thump, thump. Thump, thump, tap, tap. He's not sad, he's not blue. Gus found something that everyone can do. Percy's Chocolate Crunch, and other Thomas the Tank Engine stories. Percy's Chocolate Crunch. Sir Topham Hatt's engines love being shiny and clean. It makes them feel cheerful as they puff across the island of Sodor. Percy often has the dirtiest work to do, but he likes to be clean as well as any other engine. Washdowns are important to Percy. But Sir Topham Hatt had bad news. Due to a water shortage, he said, no engine shall have more than one washdown a day. Usefulness before cleanliness, he added, and left. Percy was upset. I get dirty, he complained. I need washdowns. Gordon only does it to feel important. I am important, Gordon sniffed. I'm an express engine. You're a pouty puffer, Percy, teased James. No, I'm not, wheezed Percy, and he chuffed away. Percy was loading freight cars at the docks. He was trying extra hard to stay clean, but the troublesome trucks were being naughty. As Percy pushed them under the coal chute, they sang out, On, 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 they cried. Percy found himself under the chute, and coal dust flew everywhere. Oh, no, coughed Percy. I'm filthy. Percy felt awful, but he knew he had to carry on. On the way to Callan Station, the troublesome trucks teased Percy even more. Clickety-clack, don't look back, dirty Percy's on our track. Be quiet, Percy snapped. When Percy arrived at Callan Station, he was very upset. From now on, I am only doing work where I won't get dirty. Harold the helicopter was at Callan Station picking up medical supplies. Hello, Percy, he called, and he took off, blowing cinders and ashes everywhere. Not again, cried Percy. I want a washdown. Usefulness before cleanliness, reminded his driver. I want to be useful where I can't get dirty, Percy huffed. There's a load of sugar going to the chocolate factory, his driver said. We could take the sugar cars. Sugar, said Percy. That's nice and clean. Percy was pleased. Percy didn't know that earlier a leaky freight car had spilled oil on the track. When he approached the chocolate factory, his driver applied the brakes, but Percy's wheels just skidded on the oily rails. Oh no! Hooted Percy. Yuck! He groaned. I've never been this dirty. He was covered from funnel to firebox in sticky, gooey chocolate. Back at the sheds, everyone thought it was very funny. You look good enough to eat, Thomas hooted. Bonbon Percy, teased James. Chalk ice on wheels, chipped in Henry. Disgraceful, said Gordon pompously. Ahem, said a stern-sounding voice. It was Sir Topham Hatt. You have had a trying day, Percy, he said. Yes, sir, replied Percy from beneath the chocolate. But you've showed us all that usefulness does come before cleanliness. So, he added, you shall have your washdown. Oh, sir! And a new coat of paint. Percy just beamed. Salty's secret. All the engines on the island of Sodor love their work, but sometimes there is too much work. That's when Sir Topham Hatt brings new engines to the island. Salty, the dockyard diesel, is one of these engines. He loves to tell tales of the sea. We heaved until the old freighter finally caught the tide. Arr, it's good to be useful. Salty is excited about coming to the island of Sodor. Islands are surrounded by the sea. Salty loves the sea. Soon Salty arrived at his new job. Ahoy, mateys! Salty, pride of the seven seas. I'm a new diesel, and I'm here to give you some help. Bill and Ben didn't think they needed any help, especially from a diesel. Welcome to Center Island Quarry, Mavis said proudly. Salty looked all around. Everywhere he looked, he saw nothing but rocks. A quarry? He cried. There must be some mistake. I'm a dockyard diesel. You're a quarry diesel now, Mavis said, and she explained that they had to complete an important job for Sir Topham Hatt. Salty was sad that he wouldn't be working by the sea, but he knew what it meant to be a really useful engine, and he set to work at once. Ah, well, Salty said, at least there be trucks. You'd better mind them, Mavis said. They can be a bother. He won't last 5 minutes, said Bill. Those trucks will trip him up soon enough, said Ben. But to Bill and Ben's surprise, the trucks seemed to give Salty no trouble at all. Yo ho ho and a bucket of prawns, the tiller spins and the captain yawns. Yo ho ho and a bucket of prawns, the tiller spins, sang Salty, and the captain yawns, sang the trucks. Thanks to Salty, Sir Topham Hatt's important job was almost done. Bill and Ben were surprised and a little jealous. Here comes Mr. Show-Off, groused Ben. You have to admit he's got a knack with those trucks, said Mavis. Driver says he'll bore the bolts off us with his stories, huffed Bill. But Salty didn't say a word. He didn't come near the shed. Mavis was worried. She rolled alongside and asked him what he was doing on his own. Oh, I thought I might catch a bit of a sea breeze. You really do miss the sea, don't you? Asked Mavis. Aye, said Salty. I do. But Salty knew the quarry work was important. The next day he tried to show Bill and Ben his secret with the trucks. I like working to a musical rhythm, he said, and so do the trucks. Why don't you give it a try, me hearties? Here we go, here we go, here we go. No, we don't, no, we don't, no, we don't. But try as they might, Bill and Ben could not move the trucks the way Salty could. Later that day, Sir Topham Hatt came to the quarry. He was surprised to see the job had been completed. Well done, said Sir Topham Hatt. It was Salty, said Mavis. We couldn't have done it without him. Then I've got a bigger job for you, Salty. Aye, aye, sir. What kind of quarry is it? Quarry? Said Sir Topham Hatt. I'm sending you to Brendam Docks. The docks? Salty exclaimed. The docks are hard by the sea. Oh, thank you, sir, he said. This reminds me of a time in Bimini, and Salty was telling stories again. Salty loves Brendam Docks. He gets more work done than any 3 engines and feels really useful. And only the trucks know his secret. Yo ho ho and a bucket of prawns. The tiller spins and the captain yawns. A bad day for Harold the helicopter. Harold the helicopter loves flying. Up in the bright blue sky over the island of Sodor, he looks out for anyone in distress. Sometimes he delivers the mail. This makes Percy very cross. The mail run is done. Is there any more? I can deliver it for you in a jiff. That's what friends are for. Delivering the mail is an engine's job, said Percy grumpily. Percy has many jobs, but carrying the mail is his favorite. It makes him feel really useful. The next morning, Percy was happily pulling the mail train. Must be on time, he chuffed. But up ahead, there was trouble with the signal box. It was broken. The signal engineers did not know how long it would take to fix. Percy had to stop. It's not safe for engines to run without signals, but Percy was very upset. I'm going to be late, he cried, and it's not even my fault. Sir Topham Hatt was in his office enjoying his toast and marmalade when he heard the news. Percy is stuck at a broken signal? Then Harold must take the mail. Poor Percy was still waiting and still upset. The last time he was held up, the mail was given to Harold. It made me feel like a really useless engine, he sighed. Well, the mail must arrive on time, said his driver. Just then they heard a familiar sound coming from above. Hello, said Harold. Sir Topham Hatt says you need my help. That's what friends are for. Oh, no, cried Percy. But Sir Topham Hatt had made up his mind. There was nothing Percy could do. Percy's driver helped load the mailbags into Harold's cargo net. Maybe we should take the mailbags a few at a time, said Harold's pilot. They're very heavy. I'd have to make too many trips. Then I'd be as slow as Percy. And so they loaded all the mail into Harold's net at once, and the engineer continued to work on the signal. Just as they finished loading, a signal engineer cried out, It's fixed, he said. Wait, Harold, shouted Percy. I'm ready to go. But it was too late. Harold had already taken off. Percy watched the mail disappear. He was upset. But then they all heard a strange sound. Watch out for those trees, Harold, cried his pilot. My net is too heavy, wailed Harold. Harold is in trouble, Percy cried. We must try to help him. Are you all right? Called Percy. Just get someone to pull me out of this haystack, sputtered Harold. And Percy did, as fast as he could. The next day, Harold's engine was fixed, and he was flying again. Percy was very pleased to see him. Want to take the mail, Harold? Percy teased. I'll stand by with the rescue team. All the engines tooted, and Harold hovered so low that only Percy could hear. Thanks for getting help to pull me out of the haystack, my friend, he said. That's all right, said Percy. That's what friends are for. How full is your bucket for kids? written by Tom Rath and Mary Reckmeyer, illustrated by Maury J. Manning. Felix was putting one of the last blocks on his tower when his little sister came in. "I want to build with you," she said. Felix scowled. "Go away, you're too little." "I'm big. Stay back, you'll knock it over." "I can be very careful." "Go play with your baby toys, Anna." Felix. Thwack! "Grandpa!" Grandpa shook his head. "Felix, you just dipped from your sister's bucket. Like everyone else, Anna has an invisible bucket. When it's empty, she feels bad. But when it's full, she feels great. Didn't you ever notice your own bucket?" Invisible bucket? Sometimes Felix couldn't quite tell when his grandfather was joking. But the next morning when Felix woke up, there it was, a small gray bucket floating above his head. When Felix came down to have breakfast, his mom was in a hurry. "I've got a meeting this morning and it's almost time to go. Anna, sit still." Felix slipped and choco wheats scattered across the floor. "Felix!" yelled his mom. "You should have used the stool to reach that." Felix could feel his bucket tip and big invisible drips spill out. Drip, drip. "Ha ha!" Anna laughed as she crunched the cereal with her shoe. Drip. "Get the broom and clean that up before you miss the bus," scolded Mom. With the school bus honking, Felix quickly swept up the choco wheats and grabbed the last blueberry muffin. But before he could even take one bite, Buster jumped up and grabbed the muffin from his hand. Drip. "Hey, look at Felix's new backpack. My baby brother has one just like it." Drip. "Psst, Felix, psst." Drip. "Watch out, shrimp." Drip. It was still morning, and Felix's bucket felt almost empty. As he watched his classmates walk into the room, he secretly hoped they would trip and fall. That's what it feels like when you have an empty bucket. Felix slumped into his seat and waited for something else bad to happen. Mrs. Bumblenickel walked slowly up to his desk and handed him a paper. He could hardly bear to look. "Felix, you wrote a wonderful story. Would you please share it with the class?" Felix grinned and felt a big drop land right in his bucket. Drop. The class grew quiet. They laughed at all the right places and oohed at the scary parts. When Felix finally read the end, everyone clapped, even Emily, who sat next to him and didn't usually like dinosaurs. Felix felt a whole shower of drops land in his bucket. Maybe the day wouldn't be so bad after all. The Gigantosaurus Who Wanted a Pet by me, Felix. Drop, plop, plink, drop. drop, drop. Team captains today are Veronica and Felix. Nice cow. It's a dog. Well, nice colors there, Felix. Cool laser ant backpack, Felix. By afternoon, Felix's bucket was nearly full. At recess, when he looked around, Felix suddenly realized that his grandpa was right. Everyone else had a bucket too. Let me help you. Drop, drop. Here's your baseball. Catch. Thanks, dude. Drop, drop. Hi, I'm Felix. First day? Yes, I'm Amir. Drop, drop. The strange thing was that for every drop he helped put in someone else's bucket, he felt another drop in his own bucket. When Felix burst in the door after school, he shouted, "You were right, Grandpa! I do have a bucket, and I understand how it works." Then he saw Anna's torn doll. "Bad dog!" he almost scolded. But then he thought, dogs might have invisible buckets too. "Your doll will be okay, Anna," said Felix. "Mom will fix her." Wah! Until then, do you want to help me build the tallest building in the world with my blocks? And so they did. King of the Railway, the Lost Crown of Sodor. It was a busy day at Brendam Docks. Thomas and Percy were shunting trucks. One of the trucks bashed into Percy's buffer and tipped over. A crate fell out and split open. "Look," peeped Percy. "It's a metal man, a robot." "Silly," Cranky grumbled. "It's a suit of armor, like a knight used to wear." "Cranky's right," said Sir Topham Hatt. "In the old days, the island of Sodor was ruled by kings. The most beloved was King Godred. He lived in Ulfstead Castle and wore a golden crown. The crown disappeared long ago." Sir Topham Hatt said that the ruins of Ulfstead Castle could be seen on the Earl of Sodor's estate. The next morning, Thomas delivered a crate to the Earl's estate. There he met Millie, the Earl's narrow-gauge engine. "If only I had King Godred's golden crown," the Earl said sadly. Over the next few days, Thomas, James, and Percy made many deliveries to the Earl's estate. Thomas saw his friend, Jack the Digger, there. "I'm helping the Earl restore Ulfstead Castle," Jack puffed. "So that's his plan," whistled Thomas. When Thomas, Percy, and James were shunting containers, Thomas saw a flatbed holding a very large crate. The Earl said it was a special delivery for the steamworks. He climbed into Thomas's cab, and the three friends pulled the crate to the steamworks. When they got there, a gantry crane lifted the crate to reveal an old engine named Stephen. His wood was worn, and he had rust holes in his boiler. He hadn't run in years. "Surprise!" the old engine peeped. Victor said that he'd have Stephen fixed up in no time. The Earl told Thomas he had a special job for Stephen, but it's best not to say anything. I won't say a word, said Thomas. I promise. Victor worked quickly. Soon Stephen was good as new. You look really useful again, Thomas peeped. Stephen had told the engines about his early days. I worked so fast, they called me the Rocket, he said. But what job would he do now? As the others rolled away to work, Thomas saw that Stephen looked sad. So Thomas broke his promise and told Stephen that the Earl had a special job for him. Stephen was very excited. Thomas, James, and Percy steamed to the Earl's estate. Inside the castle walls, they were amazed to see a giant platform on rails. The Earl called it the Traveler. You three will move the Traveler into place for the men. You must be careful to keep the platform stable. Meanwhile, Stephen wanted to know about his special job. So he rolled off to Brendam Docks. There's no work here for an old engine like you, Cranky said. Next, Stephen went to Blue Mountain Quarry. We can always use help, Luke peeped. But the trucks Stephen tried to pull were too heavy. He steamed and strained, but they wouldn't move. When I worked in a mine, the trucks weren't this heavy, said Stephen. Are there any mines around here? Skarloey told him there was an old mine near the castle ruins. I don't think anyone works there now, he said. Stephen found the entrance to the abandoned mine. He sighed. There's no job on this island for me. Nearby, Thomas was working with the troublesome trucks. Suddenly, the trucks slipped loose and roared down the hill, right towards Stephen. Stephen had no choice but to push into the mine. His funnel hit the roof and fell off. Rocks crashed down behind him, sealing up the entrance. Stephen searched for a way out. He crept around dark bends and through empty tunnels, but the tracks just went in circles. The only thing he found was an old wooden crate. Thomas and Percy searched for Stephen at the entrance to the old mine. Thomas saw something familiar lying on the ground. It was Stephen's funnel. Thomas chuffed away to get Jack the digger. Jack cleared the mine entrance and Thomas raced in. Stephen! Stephen! He peeped. Stephen heard Thomas, but he was too weak to move or even whistle. Finally, Thomas turned a corner and saw a welcome sight. Thomas pushed Stephen out of the mine. The Earl was there to greet them. I found a big wooden chest in the mine, Stephen said. Wonderful, the Earl exclaimed. But first we must get you ready for tomorrow. You are an engine with a special job to do. The next day, an excited crowd gathered around Ulfstead Castle. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, engines and coaches, said the Earl. Let me introduce my special steam engine, Stephen. He and Millie will be happy to show you the grounds. Stephen's new funnel glittered like gold. It reminded Thomas of something. Stephen found something I thought was lost forever, the Earl said. King Godred's long-lost crown. Thomas realized what Stephen's funnel looked like. A crown. The engines cheered for Stephen. He wasn't the fastest or the strongest, but he was really useful. And today he was a king. The Best Pet of All by David LaRochelle, illustrated by Hanako Wakayama. On Monday, I asked my mother if I could have a dog. A dog is a good pet, I said. No, she said. Dogs are too messy. On Tuesday, I asked my mother if I could have a dog. A dog is a very good pet, I said. No, she said. Dogs are too loud. On Wednesday, I asked my mother if I could have a dog. A dog is the best pet of all, I said. No, she said. No dogs. On Thursday, I asked my mother if I could have a dragon. A dragon, she said. I have never heard of a dragon for a pet. She thought a bit. If you can find a dragon, you can keep it for a pet. Dragons are not easy to find. There were no dragons in the park. There were no dragons at the beach. There were no dragons in the woods. There were no dragons at the zoo. At last, I found a dragon. This dragon was at the drugstore. He was wearing dark glasses and a hat. I asked the dragon to come home with me. The dragon said no. You can sleep in my bed, I said. He still would not come. You can play with my toys, I said. The dragon said yes. Dragons like to play with toys, but they do not like to put them away. They do not like to help with chores, and they make a mess in the kitchen. They roast hot dogs in the living room, and they dance to loud music all night long. My mother did not like this dragon. She asked the dragon to please leave. The dragon would not go. Then she told the dragon to leave now. The dragon still would not go. Finally, my mother got angry. She stomped her foot. She told the dragon to leave this minute or else. The dragon just shook his head. He went back to eating spaghetti in the bathtub. Too bad we do not have a dog, I said. Dragons do not like dogs. The dragon looked worried. Dragons are afraid of dogs, I said. The dragon began to shake. A dog would chase the dragon away, I said. The dragon ran to my toy box and jumped inside. Maybe you are right, my mother said. Maybe we need a dog. I put a sign in the window, Dog Wanted. Soon there was a knock at the door. It was a dog. The dragon saw the dog. He grabbed his hat and ran out the door. Thank goodness we have a dog, said my mother. A dog is a good pet. My dog wagged its tail. Yes, I said. A dog is the best pet of all. Gordon's new view. Gordon was big. Gordon was tall. Gordon liked his view from the yard. Gordon liked his view from the stations too. He could see people. People could see him. Gordon, you must go to the new station, said Sir Topham Hatt. Gordon rushed to the new station. He stopped inside. There was no view. Gordon could not see the people. They could not see him. The next day, Gordon was busy. He pulled the express. He rushed to the docks. He raced back to the new station. He was in a hurry, but his brakes were stuck. He could not slow down. Crash! Gordon crashed into the bumper. Smash! Gordon smashed into the wall. Now people could see him, but Gordon could not see them. His eyes were shut tight. The breakdown train pulled Gordon back. Gordon, go to the works, said Sir Topham Hatt. When Gordon came back, he was fixed. The wall was fixed too. It had a new window. Gordon likes his new view. He can see people. And people can see him. Peep, peep. Thomas and Friends, Easter in Harwick. Based on the Railway series by the Reverend W. Awdry, illustrated by Richard Courtney. Spring was springing everywhere Thomas went. Each day there were more buds on the trees and more flowers bursting from the ground. Thomas's riders were enjoying spring too. Annie's and Clarabelle's windows were open for the first time in a long while. One morning Sir Topham Hatt came into the yard. "Thomas," he said, "I need Donald and Douglas for some heavy pulling at the harbor, and you will replace them in Harwick for a couple of days to keep things right on time up there." "Yes, sir," Thomas peeped. "That should be a fun adventure." Harwick is a town in the hilly countryside in the northernmost parts of Sodor. As Thomas traveled north, Annie and Clarabelle weren't carrying passengers, but were full of pretty straw baskets. Harwick was chilly, but Thomas's driver assured him it would be warming up soon. The weather should be perfect for the big Easter egg hunt on Saturday. "Egg hunt?" asked Thomas. "What can eggs hunt for?" His driver laughed. "Eggs don't do the hunting, Thomas. Children hunt for the colored eggs that will be hidden in the town park. That's what the straw baskets are for, collecting eggs." As promised, each day was warmer as Thomas chugged up and down the tracks around Harwick. And each day, Thomas could see Terence working hard too. Terence's caterpillar treads helped him move around on the steep hills. In a tree near the tracks, Thomas could see a pair of birds busily building a nest out of twigs and grass. One day, Thomas saw that the birds had found a piece of red ribbon, which gave the nest a cheery bit of color. "Now that nest reminds me of James," thought Thomas. The day before the Easter egg hunt, Thomas saw Terence pulling a trailer full of eggs. The eggs had been dyed all the colors of the rainbow. Thomas had never seen eggs in so many colors. Thomas waited for Terence as he drove down the muddy road. As Terence easily turned the corner, he tooted a happy spring hello to Thomas. But the trailer didn't have caterpillar treads like Terence. The curve was sharp. The road was muddy. Oh no! The trailer slowly rolled onto its side. Hundreds of Easter eggs slipped off the trailer and rolled down the hill. They tumbled faster and faster down the grassy slope. Some eggs got stopped by flowers and thick clumps of grass. Some rolled to the edge of a stream. A few eggs made it all the way to the fence around Farmer Dalby's garden. "Oh no!" cried Terence. "How are we ever going to get all of these eggs gathered and into town in time for the Easter egg hunt tomorrow?" And then, suddenly, Thomas smiled. "I think I have an idea," he said. The next morning, there were many children and their families at the town park. There was the big sign announcing the Easter egg hunt, but there were no baskets, and worse yet, there were no Easter eggs. Just then, Thomas pulled up. Sir Topham Hatt was laughing and smiling. "All aboard!" he cried. "All aboard for a quick trip to the new Easter egg hunt location." And everyone happily boarded Annie and Clarabelle, who had been decorated just for the special day. Soon, everyone was heading out of Harwick towards Mr. Dalby's farm. "If we cannot bring the Easter eggs to the children," peeped Thomas, "let's bring the children to the Easter eggs." When they reached Dalby's farm, all of the children detrained and stood on the road waiting for the signal to begin. Sir Topham Hatt started the big hunt. "Ready, set, go!" And the children were off. They looked everywhere for the brightly colored Easter eggs. They found the eggs in the bushes and by the stream. Everyone was having fun. Thomas and Sir Topham Hatt watched the children laughing and hunting. Suddenly, Thomas noticed 3 blue eggs in a nest in a tree near the tracks. He was confused. "How did those eggs get up in that tree?" he asked. "Can Easter eggs fly?" Sir Topham Hatt laughed. "Those aren't Easter eggs, Thomas. Those are robin's eggs. Soon they will hatch and be baby birds." Thomas smiled and sighed. Warmer weather, smiling children, Easter eggs, and baby birds. I can't wait for the rest of spring. Around Town by Victoria Taylor. It's the start of another busy day in Legoville. Early in the morning, the road sweeper makes the town clean. A delivery from the supermarket arrives at the railway station. The supermarket opens and people begin to go in to buy bread for breakfast. What's this? There is a fire. The fire truck rushes to the fire with its siren blaring. One of the firemen tries very hard to put out the flames, a difficult job. The flames are very big now. The firefighter is having trouble battling the flames on his own. Help arrives. It's a helicopter. The helicopter uses a hose to spray water on the flames. It works. The firefighters have done a good job. Everything is safe now. Back in town, the builders are hard at work on the building site. They are building a new house. There is a big crane to lift heavy bricks into place. The builders always wear their hard hats while they work. A cement mixer is making cement. Cement is used to stick bricks together for building walls. The Legoville mechanics are fixing people's cars. This car has broken down, but the mechanics know what to do. There are lots of visitors at the zoo on this sunny day. The monkeys are showing off to the visitors by swinging around. It's lunchtime for the animals. The zookeepers take the right food to each animal. The Legoville police hear that someone has stolen a cake from the supermarket. The police rush into the supermarket to see if they can catch the thief. The police dog catches the thief. He could smell the cake. It has been another successful day in Legoville. Quiz. What helped the fire truck put out the fire? Did you guess helicopter? You're right. Question 2. What were the builders making? A house. Question 3. What is this man's job? He's a mechanic. And question 4. What did the thief steal? Do you know? A cake. Nice job. This is an Usborne book, Peek Inside the Zoo, illustrated by Simona Dimitri. Peek inside the zoo to see what all the animals are up to. The seals are swimming around and splashing around.
Where's the seal?
Where are the seals?
I can eat.
Oh, I see them. They're right here playing.
I need to open
who's
it.
Underneath there?
Baby panda. It's a baby panda.
It's a panda. He's busy eating.
It's a baby.
Yeah, did you know he chews through hundreds of sticks of bamboo a day?
Yeah.
The lion is snoozing until his cubs wake him up to play. There's his cubs. Can you guess who lives in here?
It's a mama and a baby.
What are those animals?
And a Grammy and a Nami.
Oh, they're the giraffes. They're the tallest animals. Even the babies are much taller than you. Oh, look at this one. Look. One has spotted a juicy leaf. See, he's going after the leaf. She'll use her long tongue to pull it from the tree. Elephants love water. At the zoo, they have a shower every day. An elephant's nose is called a trunk. It can use it to suck up water and to squirt it out again. Who's been munching on these leaves? Who's under the leaf? A caterpillar. A caterpillar makes a little case called a chrysalis. It curls inside. Can you find the caterpillar inside the chrysalis? And turns into a butterfly. Look at this butterfly. It folds its pretty wings to rest in the shade. Open them up to see how it looks when it flutters away. Flutter, flutter, flutter. Good job. Penguins shuffle when they walk. They're birds that cannot fly, but when they dive into the water, splash, and flap their wings like flippers. They're super speedy swimmers. Who's swinging around behind the tire? Oh, it's monkeys. Their tails, let's see what their tails do. Help them balance as they swing and climb. Oh, look at the gorilla. Gorillas have very long, strong arms. What's this one hiding in her arms, William? Who is that?
It's a baby.
It's a little baby gorilla. The mama's holding him. A gorilla's foot is like a hand with a big toe that works like a thumb. So see right here? That's just like our thumb. They use it just like our thumbs to grab and hold things. Squawk, squawk, squawk. Parrots live in a group called a flock.
She's eating, and Mommy said, wash her face, take a shower with Daddy.
They call to each other to make sure their flock stays together. This little guy, he's eating a nut. He's a hungry parrot. It's using its strong beak to crack the nut open. At night, when the visitors are gone, most of the animals go to sleep, but one of them is still awake. Who's still awake? Do you see? Tigers doze in the day, and they go prowling after dark. There he is. He's still awake. Open the doors quietly to see who's sleeping in here. Who's in there? Aww. Shh. Don't wake the elephants. Sleep tight, baby and mommy elephant. Say night-night to him.
Night-night, buddy.
Yeah, they're sweet. Okay.
Hi.
Hello, Maine by Martha Day Scott. Good morning to Maine. Let's have a great day. There's so much to do. We're off and away. In pools by the shore, we'll find some neat creatures like sea stars and urchins with really cool features.
Yeah.
We'll zip up our life vests and go for a sail past beautiful islands. We might spot a whale. Do you see the whale?
Yeah.
Where is he? There he is. Good job. A compass and sandwich are snug in our pack. We'll climb up Katahdin, then journey on back.
Okay.
Let's dig up some clams with a shovel and rake, then haul in some lobsters and have a clam bake.
Bake.
Our fish poles are ready with hooks and some bait. We'll toss in our lines, then patiently wait. Plump berries are ripe from the sun in the sky. We'll fill up our buckets and bake a big pie.
Yeah.
The lakeside is starry. We'll camp out tonight, sing songs round a fire, then snuggle up tight. Come journey round Maine. There's much to explore. Each time that you visit, you'll discover some more.
What's this?
That's another book about Maine called Journey Around Maine from A to Z. That looks good.
Subscribe. Thanks for watching. Night.
If You Give a Pig a Pancake by Laura Numeroff, illustrated by Felicia Bond. If you give a pig a pancake, she'll want some syrup to go with it. You'll give her some of your favorite maple syrup. She'll probably get all sticky, so she'll want to take a bath. She'll ask you for some bubbles. When you give her the bubbles, she'll probably ask you for a toy. You'll have to find your rubber duck. The duck will remind her of the farm where she was born. She might feel homesick and want to visit her family. She'll want you to come too. She'll look through your closet for a suitcase. Then she'll look under your bed. When she's under the bed, she'll find your old tap shoes. She'll try them on. She'll probably need something special to wear with them. When she's all dressed, she'll ask for some music. You'll play your very best piano piece, and she'll start dancing. Then she'll want you to take her picture. So you'll have to get your camera. When she sees the picture, she'll ask you to take more. Then she'll want to send one to each of her friends. You'll have to give her some envelopes and stamps and take her to the mailbox. On the way, she'll see the tree in your backyard. She'll want to build a tree house. So you'll have to get her some wood, a hammer, and some nails. When the tree house is finished, she'll want to decorate it. She'll ask for wallpaper and glue. When she hangs the wallpaper, she'll get all sticky. Feeling sticky will remind her of your favorite maple syrup. She'll probably ask you for some. And chances are, if she asks you for some syrup, she'll want a pancake to go with it. The end. Freddy the Frog, illustrated by Axel Scheffler. Freddy's a frog with goggly eyes. He's small and fat and loves catching flies. Right here. Yep. Okay.
I like to.
He leaps and jumps and has a good time squelching about in the muddy green slime. His friends join in. They have a big race, bouncing about all over the place. Then Freddy stops to take a short nap, paddling his feet, flippity flap.
That's why I get here.
And when the stars come out and the moon is bright, what Freddy loves best is to croak through the night. The end.
Please subscribe. Night.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Swing, a Scanimation picture book. What's all the commotion? Kids in Motion. By, who's it by? Rufus Butler Cedar. Can you swing a baseball bat? Boom, whoosh, whack. Can you kick a soccer ball? Froom, boom, smack.
Yep.
Can you ride a bicycle? Spin, rim, vroom. Can you run a relay? Zip, zoop, zoom. Can you cartwheel through the air? Hop, loop, whirl.
Whoa. What?
Can you spin around the ice? Slide, glide, twirl. Can you shoot a basketball? Dribble, jump, swoop. Can you swim across a pool? Splish, splash, floop. If you can cartwheel, shoot a basket, swing a bat, or kick a ball. If you can swim and spin around and ride a bike without a fall, then give yourself a great big cheer. A hip, 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 hooray. A superstar is what you are. Now let's go out and play.
Yep.
I'd Know You Anywhere, My Love by Nancy Tillman. What's this?
A giraffe.
It is a big giraffe. There are things about you quite unlike any other.
A sailboat.
Yeah, it's a little koala in his sailboat. Things always known by your father or mother. So if you decide to be different one day, no worries, I'd know you anyway. If one day we're walking and talking, just us, when you're abracadabra, a rhinoceros, I might be surprised, but just for a while, I'd know it was you by your magical smile. If William turned into a rhinoceros, I'd know it was you. If early one morning you put on your socks and declare, listen and you'll find out. For today, I'm a little red fox. I'd say, my, that is quite a disguise. But I'd know you. It was you by the gleam in your eyes. If you were a camel, I'd know you by your grin. Yeah. Little pink pig, your chinny chin chin.
It's a baby.
White snowy owl, among other things, I'd know by the flap of your snowy owl wings. Would you mind flapping them? Can you flap your wings, William? Good job. Can you say whoo? Good. Yes, without question, I know it was you. My eyes and my ears and my arms always know, from the top of your head to your tiniest toe. Wild spotted pony, easy my sweet, I know it was you by the sound of your feet. If you were a bear cub, is that William?
Yeah.
I'd know by your nose.
It's fine.
Yeah, he's riding a bicycle. That's so silly. Ringtail raccoon. Your clever tiptoes. I'd know by your toes. If that was William. Blue-footed booby. I'd know at first glance.
It's a booby.
Yeah, that's the booby bird.
It's a booby bird.
I'd know at first glance by your wonderful...
The booby bird. It's got weird on water.
Yeah, they're playing in the water. One of a kind.
Oh, no.
Happy dance. Look at his happy dance. And if one fine day you got bored and you said, Today I'm not me, I'm a lion instead. Even if I'd never heard it before, I'd know it was you by the sound of your roar.
Yeah.
Would you mind roaring for me for a second or two?
Yeah.
Can you roar for Mama?
Roar.
Oh, see? Without question, I'd know it was you. I know you by heart, so my heart never misses. I'd even know by your whiskery kisses. Thank you. Fox.
It's when they sailboat again.
Yeah. Fox or koala, giraffe or raccoon. Anything, anywhere under the moon. Whatever it is you imagine to be, I'll just be so proud you belong to me. I'll kiss every whisker and smooth every hair. Because, child of mine, I'd know you anywhere. You are loved. Mwah. Love you. Say please subscribe.
Hit that sky.
Goodnight, Little Monsters by Kara LaRue, illustrated by Brian Wan. Goodnight, Frankenbaby. Lay down your green head. Let's loosen your bolts and tuck you in bed. Goodnight, precious zombie. Enjoy your last snack. Know that we love you through gloom and back. Good night, dear vampire. Take one final sip. Please brush your fangs well and try not to drip. Good night, my Loch Nessie. We'll swim when we wake. Now let's snuggle close in the deep, cool lake.
Look at that dinosaur swimming.
Yeah, it's a Loch Ness monster. Good night, mummy honey. Let's wrap you up tight. It's one bed tomb story, then off with the light. Good night, darling wolf boy. You'll drift to sleep soon. I'll howl you a lullaby under the moon. Good night, little Bigfoot. Rest is what you crave. Sweet dreams of dark forests and welcoming caves. Good night, gleeful goblins. Let's settle your bones. Know how much we love you. You're never alone. Good night, little monsters. Wherever you creep, you'll make mischief tomorrow. Now it's time to sleep.
Ah.
Subscribe.
Hit that sky. Night, kids.
God Must Really Love Opposites by Rondie DeBoer, illustrated by Steve Haskamp. God must really love up and down. He created eagles to soar up high in the sky and then loop and swoop down low to the ground. Good job, God. I love up and down too. God must really love big and little. He created big, tall, towering trees to drop little tiny acorns all around the ground. Good job, God. I love big and little too. God must really love fast and slow. He created fast racing rabbits to run around slow, tired turtles. Good job, God. I love fast and slow too. God must really love cold and hot. He created cold, icy snowflakes in the winter and hot, cozy sunbeams in summer. Good job, God. I love cold and hot too. God must really love light and dark. He created the bright, shining day for me to play, and the dark, black night for me to sleep.
Good for you.
Good night. Good job, God. I love light and dark too. Oh, yes, God must really love opposites. He created eagles soaring up and down, big trees with little acorns, fast rabbits and slow turtles, cold winters and hot summers, and the light of the day with the dark of the night. A whole, wide, wonderful world full of fun opposites. Good job, God. I love opposites too. The end.
So, here.
Okay.
Thank you for your help.
You're welcome.
Please subscribe.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Night night.
Goodnight Tractor by Michelle Robinson and Nick East. The stars are out. It's time for bed. So say goodnight,
What's this?
my sleepyhead.
What's this?
That's a weather vane.
What's this?
And that's smoke coming from the house. What's this?
Moon.
It is the moon. You're right. Where's the owl? Do you see him?
Where's
Oh, there he is. Good night,
What's
farmer.
this?
Good night, plow.
What's this?
You know, what is that?
A combine tractor.
It is a combine.
Wow.
Yeah. Good night, trailer. Good night, cow. Good night, dog. And good night, sheep. Good night, tractor. Time to sleep.
What's this?
That's the little boy's tractor.
Citric William.
That's right.
The combine with what?
Good night, combine. Good night, truck. Good night, donkey. Good night, duck. Good night, pig. And good night, sheep. Good night, tractor. Time to sleep. Dog and donkey, duck and cow, combine, wagon, truck and plow. Oinks and brays and moos and baws, quacks and neighs and moon and stars. Good night all, now count the sheep. Good night, tractor, time to sleep.
Yeah.
Dan the Taxi Man, written by Eric Ode, illustrated by Kent Collada. Here's Dan, beep beep, the taxi man, going to the show and picking up the band. Climb inside while you still can with Dan, beep beep, the taxi man. Stop! Here comes Maureen with her tambourine. Shake a shake crash, shake a shake crash. And here's Dan. It's a skunk. Beep beep, the taxi man.
It got too squishy.
I think he's gonna be okay. Going to the show and picking up the band. Climb inside while you still can with Dan. Beep beep, the taxi man. Stop! Here comes Tyrone with his saxophone. Squeeba-dee-dee, squeeba-dee-doo. Here's Maureen with her tambourine. Shake a shake crash, shake a shake crash. And here's Dan, beep beep, the taxi man, going to the show and picking up the band. Climb inside while you still can with Dan, beep beep, the taxi man. Stop! Here comes Star with her electric guitar. Wee wazzle wah, wee wazzle wah. Here's Tyrone with his saxophone. Squeeba-dee-dee, squeeba-dee-doo. Here's Maureen with her tambourine. Shake-a-shake crash, shake-a-shake crash. And here's Dan, beep beep, the taxi man, going to the show and picking up the band. Climb inside while you still can with Dan, beep beep, the taxi man. Stop! Here comes Claire with her rattly snare. Rat-a-tat-tat, rat-a-tat-tat, rat-a-tat-tat-tat. Here's Star with her electric guitar. Wee wazzle wah, wee wazzle wah. Here's Tyrone with his saxophone. Squeeba-dee-dee, squeeba-dee-doo. Here's Maureen with her tambourine. Shake-a-shake crash, shake-a-shake crash. And here's Dan, beep beep, the taxi man, going to the show and picking up the band.
Where's the black one?
I don't know. Climb inside while you still can with Dan, beep beep, the taxi man. Stop! Here comes Ace with his upright bass. Boom, boom, ba boom, 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 ba boom. Here's Claire with her rattly snare. Rat-a-tat-tat, rat-a-tat-tat, rat-a-tat-tat-tat. Here's Star with her electric guitar. Wee wazzle wah, wee wazzle wah. Here's Tyrone with his saxophone. Squeeba-dee-dee, squeeba-dee-doo. Here's Maureen with her tambourine. Shake-a-shake crash, shake-a-shake crash. And here's Dan. Beep, beep.
What's this?
That's the light from the lamp post. The taxi man, going to the show and picking up the band. Climb inside while you still can with Dan, beep beep, the taxi man. Stop! We're here. That's where they're going to do the show, at the Rockin' Joint. Dan gives a shout. Everybody out. Let's go, let's go. Up on the stage, it's time for the show. What a place. What a scene. There's Claire and Ace, and there's Maureen. There's Star and Tyrone. But something's wrong. There's something missing. Stop the song. Who's missing? Star looks around. I know what we need. I know what's missing. Yes, indeed. Let's see who's missing. It's Dan. Beep, beep. The taxi man. It's Dan. Beep, beep. The taxi man. The end. That was a good one, huh?
Please subscribe. Night night.
If You Give a Moose a Muffin by Laura Joffe Numeroff.
It's a muffin.
It is. Illustrated by Felicia Bond. If you give a moose a muffin, he'll want some jam to go with it. So you'll bring out some of your mother's homemade blackberry jam.
Oh.
When he's finished eating the muffin, he'll want another, and another, and another. When they're all gone, he'll ask you to make more. You'll have to go to the store to get some muffin mix. He'll want to go with you. When he opens the door and feels how chilly it is, he'll ask to borrow a sweater. When he puts the sweater on, he'll notice one of the buttons is loose. He'll ask for a needle and thread. He'll start sewing. The button will remind him of the...
Where's her mouth? Where's her mouth?
It's hiding. The button will remind him of the puppets his grandmother used to make. So he'll ask for some old socks. He'll make sock puppets. When they're done, he'll want to put on a puppet show. He'll need some cardboard and paints. Then he'll ask you to help make the scenery. When the scenery is finished, he'll get behind the couch, but his antlers will stick out. So he'll ask for something to cover them up. Do you see his antlers?
Yeah.
You'll bring him a sheet from your bed. There's the sheet.
There's the sheet.
When he sees the sheet, he'll remember he wants to be a ghost for Halloween. He'll try it on and shout, "Boo!" It'll scare him so much he'll knock over the paints. So he'll use the sheet to clean up the mess. Then he'll ask for some soap to wash it out. He'll probably want to hang the sheet up to dry. He'll go outside to put it on the clothesline. When he's out in the yard, he'll see your mother's blackberry bushes. Seeing the blackberries will remind him of her jam. He'll probably ask you for some. And chances are, if you give him the jam, he'll want a muffin to go with it. The end.
I get to tell you this. Please subscribe.
Wherever you are, my love will find you. I wanted you more than you ever will know, so I sent love to follow wherever you go. It's high as you wish it. It's quick as an elf. You'll never outgrow it. It stretches itself. So climb any mountain, climb up to the sky. My love will find you. My love can fly. Make a big splash. Go out on a limb. My love will find you. My love can swim. It never gets lost, never fades, never ends. If you're working or playing or sitting with friends, you can dance till you're dizzy, paint till you're blue. There's no place, not one, that my love can't find you. And if someday you're lonely, or someday you're sad, or you strike out at baseball, or think you've been bad, just lift up your face, feel the wind in your hair. That's me, my sweet baby. My love is right there. In the green of the grass, in the smell of the sea, in the clouds floating by, at the top of a tree, and the sound crickets make at the end of the day, you are loved. You are loved. You are loved, they all say. My love is so high and so wide and so deep. It's always right there, even when you're asleep. So
The flamingo.
Those are flamingos. So hold your head high and don't be afraid to march to the front of your own parade. If you're still my small babe or you're all the way grown,
It's a baby one. It's baby one.
Yeah. My promise to you
And the mommy one
is you're never alone. You are my angel, my darling, my star, and my love will find you wherever you are. You are loved. Say please subscribe.
Subscribe.
Thanks for watching. Giggle, Giggle, Quack by Doreen Cronin. Pictures by Betsy Lewin. Farmer Brown was going on vacation. He left his brother, Bob, in charge of the animals. I wrote everything down for you. Just follow my instructions and everything will be fine. But keep an eye on Duck. He's trouble. Farmer Brown thought he heard giggles and snickers as he drove away, but he couldn't be sure. Bob gave Duck a good long stare and went inside. He read the first note. Tuesday night is pizza night, not the frozen kind.
This?
That's his hair. The hens prefer anchovies. Giggle, giggle, cluck. 29 minutes later, there was hot pizza in the barn. Bob checked on the animals before he went to bed. Everything was just fine. Wednesday is bath day for the pigs. Wash them with my favorite bubble bath and dry them off with my good towels. Remember, they have very sensitive skin. Giggle, giggle, oink. Bob had all the pigs washed in no time. Farmer Brown called home on Wednesday night to check in. Did you feed the animals like I wrote in the note, he asked. Done, replied Bob, counting 7 empty pizza boxes. Did you see my note about the pigs? All taken care of, said Bob proudly. Are you keeping a very close eye on Duck? He asked. Bob gave Duck a good long stare. Duck was too busy sharpening his pencil to notice. Just keep him in the house, ordered Farmer Brown. He's a bad influence on the cows. Giggle, giggle, moo. Giggle, oink. Giggle, quack. Thursday night is movie night. It's the cows' turn to pick. Giggle, giggle, moo.
The duck.
Yeah, the duck is busy writing silly notes. Bob was in the kitchen popping corn. Just as the animals settled in to watch the sound of music, the phone rang. The only thing Farmer Brown heard on the other end was giggle, giggle, quack, giggle, moo, giggle, oink. Uh-oh. Duck! Screamed Farmer Brown. It's for you, Bob. Farmer Brown doesn't look happy. The end.
Good night, kids. Bye. Thanks for watching.